What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, legendary, iconic, retired, undefeated, 50-0, former 5-division world champion, former pound-for-pound king, the man known as Money, Floyd Money Mayweather. He takes the opportunity to congratulate newly crowned Super WBA welterweight world champion, Yordenis Ugas, and he takes the opportunity to poke at former rival, legendary 8-division world champion, Filipino iconic superstar boxer, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao, for losing the WBA title with no backup plan. Manny Pacquiao seemed to be on the verge of facing off against undefeated rising lightweight Mexican superstar title contender King Ryan Garcia, but now Ryan Garcia has pulled out of the fight. He was also looking to secure a showdown with UFC legendary iconic superstar Conor McGregor in a crossover sport showdown, as Floyd Mayweather did with Conor McGregor, but Conor McGregor was knocked out by Dustin Poirier in his last fight last weekend. In the second round, he was dramatically knocked out. So that left Manny Pacquiao just as the WBA champion, but the WBA stripped Manny Pacquiao for inactivity. So Manny Pacquiao lost the Conor McGregor fight, he lost the Ryan Garcia fight, and he lost his title. So Floyd Mayweather took the opportunity, obviously, to poke at Manny Pacquiao, but he congratulated and celebrated with Yordenis Ugas, and he bigged up Yordenis Ugas' opportunity and told Yordenis Ugas how proud he was of him for his accomplishments and to be great in his unification showdown with undefeated unified WBC IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer Errol Spence Jr. Obviously, that seems that's the right direction that both gentlemen are going to go in. They agreed in principle via social media. Errol Spence stated to Yordenis Ugas, all you had to do was get something that I want, and now we're going to make it happen. And he put the shaking hand emojis. Yordenis Ugas, he stated that now I'm finally going to secure the fight that I want, and 3 belts will be on the line, and I can't wait to make it happen. It's a dream come true. I can't wait. So they both agree in principle. They're both signed with the PBC, Premier Boxing Champions, with advisor and founder Al Heyman. And so with that said, this is going to be a massive showdown. So this leaves Manny Pacquiao with no plan B. Manny Pacquiao was making these plans to have these fights, and it seemed like Manny Pacquiao was looking to cash out, right? It truly didn't seem like he had any direction. He stated that after Conor McGregor fight, he possibly could have faced off against Errol Spence and 3-division world champion, undefeated WBO welterweight world champion superstar boxer Terrence Bud Crawford. He said that could have been an opportunity as well after Conor McGregor. With that Conor McGregor fight went by the wayside, and instead of him going into that fight, and it's understandable, he hasn't been active since he won the belt against former unified WBC, WBA welterweight world champion superstar boxer Keith one-time Thurman. That was July of 2019. After he shocked the world and beat Keith Thurman and took the belt from Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao has been inactive. Now, obviously, there's a global pandemic. Obviously, sports was suspended, so it's difficult, and Manny Pacquiao is ascendant over in his country, so there's a lot going on with Manny Pacquiao outside of the ring, okay? But inside of the ring, when he decided that and informed that he would be stepping back in the ring in 2021 after his legendary trainer, Freddie Roach, who's a Hall of Famer, he stated that Manny Pacquiao was not going to be active in 2020. He let that be known in early 2020 when all of these things started to take place. So with that said, Manny Pacquiao, the WBA informed Manny Pacquiao that if he did come back, he was going to have to defend it against somebody in the top 10 of their ranking system. And then Manny Pacquiao chose to go against the grain and the WBA, and the WBA informed him that if he didn't, they were going to strip him of the belt. Most people felt like maybe he would fight 4-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer Mikey Garcia, but he chose to go in a different direction, Conor McGregor and Ryan Garcia. So obviously you understand that Floyd Mayweather is going to take the opportunity to poke at Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao just recently stated that he would love a rematch with Floyd Mayweather, since Floyd Mayweather is not going to have his exhibition bout with YouTube sensation Logan Paul due to this pandemic, right? So that got pushed back, it got postponed, and now it's all around got canceled. So there's no foreseeable fights or exhibitions in the foreseeable future for Floyd Mayweather. So Manny Pacquiao took the opportunity and he called out Floyd Mayweather and said, you know, you don't have an opponent, I don't have an opponent. Why don't we just do a rematch and we can earn hundreds of millions of dollars, okay? Floyd Mayweather obviously is not active in the current ranking system, right? He's doing exhibition bouts, but Floyd Mayweather hasn't had a serious fight in quite some time, and it don't seem like he's ever going to step back in the squared circle for all the marbles when everything's on the line, meaning his record and things of that nature. He'll do it for exhibition in a charity format, but he's not going to do it for in seriousness, right? So, like I said, Manny Pacquiao essentially, you know, got left out in the cold, right? And he don't have any plan B. You know, Manny Pacquiao could have made just as much money fighting Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford as he would have fighting Ryan Garcia and Conor McGregor. Now, the reason I say that is because we already saw Floyd Mayweather knock out Conor McGregor. We already saw this movie before. And not to mention, Manny Pacquiao said that when Floyd Mayweather signed to fight Conor McGregor, he was essentially making a mockery of the sport of boxing. And then years later, he's looking to do the same thing, and he's citing that he just wanted to understand what it's like, experience what it's like to be in the ring with a UFC fighter. Well, if that's the case, then you have to go in the octagon because you're not going to get a different feel than you already have because he's coming into your world in the sport of boxing. So you're not going to get a different feel. With that said, Floyd Mayweather congratulated Yordenis Ugas. Obviously, you know, Floyd Mayweather, when these fighters, Yordenis Ugas was at one of Floyd Mayweather's clubs, and Yordenis Ugas said it was a dream come true. He said he was nervous. He said Floyd Mayweather congratulated him time and time again the other night as they were there, and he told him how proud he was of him over and over again. He said that it was like a dream. He stated that Floyd Mayweather wished him all the luck, gave him advice on the upcoming showdown with Errol Spence, told him to, you know, seize the moment, right? Obviously, Floyd Mayweather doesn't have a dog in the race, but Floyd Mayweather, once upon a time, if not still now, has a relationship with Errol Spence Jr. as well. So it looks like we're going to get that unification showdown. Now, Manny Pacquiao is left to have, his name still carries weight. So if he fought Mikey Garcia, it's still going to be a big fight, but it's not going to have the same implications because he doesn't have a title anymore. He could have went in a unification bout with Errol Spence that would have been huge on pay-per-view. With that said, now Errol Spence is going to be, you know, in this unification bout, and styles make fights. Errol Spence's style, I believe, is all wrong for Yordenis Ugas. He has trouble with guys that box from the outside because, surprisingly, he doesn't have fast feet for a Cuban boxer. Usually Cuban boxers have quick feet, very educated feet. They're very technical. And Yordenis Ugas is technical. He's big, he's strong. He's somewhat fast. He's not that athletic, not that quick, but he's a big, strong welterweight. But he doesn't have the quickest feet in the world. And Errol Spence does have quick feet. Errol Spence could get in the inside, fight on the inside, and he could get back to the outside. A la we saw how Errol Spence fought against two-division world champion superstar boxer Danny Swift Garcia in his last fight. And he was mixing it up, boxing on the inside, boxing on the outside, being technical, being defensive. The only rounds Danny Garcia won in the fight was the rounds that Errol Spence just took off. He just completely took off because of fatigue. He was out the ring for 14 months, suffering that horrific car accident and unifying the belts against two-time welterweight world champion superstar boxer Showtime Sean Porter. So Errol Spence had to get some ring rust off and, understand what it's like to actually be in the ring under the lights. It's different from being in training camp and sparring, opposed to being in the ring under the lights with no headgear, 8-ounce gloves on. So, there was rounds he took off, and Danny Garcia won those rounds. But when you look at Yordenis Ugas against Sean Porter's mobility, Sean Porter's quickness and athletic ability gave Yordenis Ugas tons and tons of problems, okay? And if you look at Yordenis Ugas against Omar Figueroa, he should have knocked out Omar Figueroa. Now, he dominated the fight, but he was clearly the bigger, stronger, more technical guy in the ring, and he was hitting Omar Figueroa with big, clean punches, but he could not get Omar Figueroa out of there. They ended up going to the 12 rounds, and he got a unanimous decision, but he should have got a stoppage victory. So that's an indication that he will not be able to hurt Errol Spence Jr. He's not elusive enough to get away from Errol Spence Jr., and he's not athletic or quick enough to be able to walk Errol Spence Jr. down. And he doesn't have the power to be able to get Errol Spence Jr.'s respect. So I believe that in this fight, Errol Spence is going to mix it up, and eventually at times he's going to look to try to walk Yordenis Ugas down and stop him. And if he can't, he'll just win a unanimous decision. I think Errol Spence is going to look a lot like the Danny Garcia fight, because Yordenis Ugas has issues with fighters that come in and get out quickly. We saw with Sean Porter. Now, a lot of people felt like he won the fight with Sean Porter, but it was a close fight. I favored Sean Porter. I thought Sean Porter won by 2 rounds. Sean Porter was boxing him. Sean Porter didn't use his normal style of, being aggressive and testing you physically and mentally and pushing you to the brink every second or every minute of every round. He didn't use that style. He just simply looked to outbox Yordenis Ugas, and Yordenis Ugas was trying to counter him, but he wasn't quick enough to do so. And he won't be quick enough to do so against Errol Spence Jr., who's longer, who's rangier, and has more power, is more technical than Sean Porter. So I'm expecting him to win the fight. But Floyd Mayweather was not going to miss the opportunity to poke at Manny Pacquiao. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out, and when the announcement comes. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Raw. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.